Oh boy, do we have some controversy in this Dallas Cowboys and San Francisco
My
game,
God.
man. Things went crazy here. So many penalties on Dallas, but was it Dallas's fault for these penalties? I'm going to give things over right away to Mason, and he is going to explain to you why.
Yeah. Um, I think it comes down to one main important thing: coaching, coaching. This is a very talented team. I do believe they should have made it farther than round one. But as we've seen as a whole year has played out, the Dallas Cowboys have not had any solid competition. And when they had during their year, they lost to the Raiders, they lost to the Chiefs, they lost to like just teams they shouldn't have really lost
They got
to.
smoked
Also,
by
like
the Broncos, correct?
yes, they got smoked by the
Yep.
Broncos, man. I mean, they beat the Patriots, they beat the Giants in some games. Like, yeah, they had a good winning record, but they did not see true crazy talent. And I think the coaching staff got lax. I don't think they did a great job rounding this team up. Like Son was saying with the penalties, there was 14 penalties, guys, that caused them 89 yards. Not to mention just this last playoff game, they had 127 penalties on the season with 1,103 penalty yards. That's the second most in the NFL for the yards and the first most with the penalties. Guys,
That's
they're
how
all over
many
the place.
That's almost as many yards that Trayvon Diggs allowed in the air this year from plays
Yeah,
he's allowed.
that's hilarious.
Just throwing a jab. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. You guys are already going through enough right now. Uh, I do want to talk controversy on that last play though, because Dak decided to come out and after he heard the reporter saying that people were throwing things at his teammates, he was down on them and being like, "Yeah, shame on you guys." But as soon as they were like, "No, they were throwing it at the refs," he's like, "Oh yeah, credit to them then." I want to talk about that last play because, for one, Dak's wrong. The referees did not lose in this game. It was discipline on the Cowboys' end. But that last
Yeah,
play, Dak Prescott has to understand, and the center for that matter, that they can't just put the ball on the ground and snap the ball. They have to give that thing to the ref who's running from the backfield back up to the play. They have to give it to him so he can set the ball and let the play so they can clock it or something. But
yeah.
instead, they lined up, so the referee pretty much had to run his way through the line. Like you have to give him way to get through there. Like that was just another
Let me
example of
back
discipline
this
in this
up.
game.
Let me back this up to paint this picture a little better. There's 14 seconds left. There's no timeouts. The Cowboys called a QB draw with Dak Prescott. He ran up the middle for 17 yards. All right, that's a play call. Should he have ran that far? Probably not. Should Dak have been ready to and know to hand the ball to the line judge? Yes, he should have. But Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy should have been in their ears. If we're going to run this play, then we have to be absolutely ready to get that ball to the line judge so we can just do the spike and then give ourselves a last play, a last chance. And again, comes back to coaching. Yes, it's on the players out there playing on the field, but at the end of the day, it comes back on you, coaches.
And I do want to say another play that happened in this game was the whole special teams ordeal. I believe it was in that fourth quarter as well. They
Yeah.
fake a punt and they get the first down. Great play call. I mean, it was pretty obvious. I don't know how the defense wasn't ready for that. I mean, they were down a lot at that point. They kind of had to do something like that in desperation mode. But instead of just bringing the offense back on the field, they left the special teams unit out there until about 15 seconds on the delay on the play clock, and then they ran the offense out there just to run a quick play, catch the defense off guard type of thing. Well, the Niners had a substitution because of that, and their substitution took longer than Dallas's, but they can't snap the ball until the defensive substitution is over, and the line judge did that. Now, I will say the line judge kind of held it a little too long. I think he could have actually gave Dallas a chance there, but what are you thinking on that play call? Just run the offense out there. You got the first down already, man. Don't take the delay of game right away. Like that's just oh man, the play calling, man,
More
was
poor play
rough,
calling.
man.
And I was
Um,
fumbling over my words earlier, but the 14 penalties they had Sunday night was a tie. So they are tied for the playoff record with the most penalties in the game. Sorry, I was fumbling over that. But anyways, Paul.
no, I was just gonna say I feel like Dallas. I guess the word I want to use is entitled. For the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks of the season, they've anytime they've lost a game against Arizona, against this game, like they've just come out and they've talked about the officiating that they've cost them games, that they're the reasons that they're losing, but they're not taking any accountability for themselves. They're not putting it on the coaches. They're not putting it on Kellen Moore as a play caller. Like you alluded to already with all the penalties, being the most penalized team in the league. They're not putting that on Mike McCarthy himself. The players aren't taking any accountability whatsoever. And I think a lot of that has to do with just being the Dallas Cowboys. You're run by a very eccentric Jerry Jones. Any of the good coaches that they've ever had, he runs them out of town. Since he's acquired the team, Tom Landry, Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson, all these guys that have put you in a position to win championships. And it's just he can't take criticism, or he can't allow somebody else to run the show. That's why he's still a GM. He shouldn't be a GM. He should be an owner. Give him your pocketbook, give him your checkbook, whatever. Let an actual GM come in, run this team, and I guarantee you're going to have success. But that's not the way he does things. So unless he changes the way he is as an owner, as a GM, until he gets somebody in there who can coach these guys and not just be a yes man and answer to him and do whatever he wants step for step, nothing's going to change. There's a reason why they have 3 playoff wins, I think is what Stone said, in the last 25 seasons. Like, for a franchise that's known as America's team, somebody who has all the talent in the world, who opens your checkbook every single day to get all these guys in here. You give Amari Cooper a 5-year, $100 million contract. You give Dak Prescott, I think, the highest paid contract for a quarterback. You give Zeke Elliott a 5-year, $100 million contract. Like, you're not the New York Yankees. They actually win. They can do something. Like, you keep losing and you don't take any accountability whatsoever. And so I think that's where a lot of this lies. That plus the fact that they play in the NFC West or the NFC East. So you're going up against kind of, I wouldn't call them cupcake teams because they're the NFL, but you're playing in probably the worst division in football. You're getting possibly 5 to 6 wins every single season just from them. So it's like a false sense of confidence. You come into these games where you're playing top guys or top teams, and you implode, you crumble. And I can't compare them to the Cleveland Browns because they're actually good right now. Cleveland is. Yeah, they have a lot of dysfunction, but that's what they're playing like. They're not playing like the Dallas Cowboys. They're not playing like America's team. They're not playing like a team that should be in the top 5 of the NFL. And so, yeah, I think a lot of it, like what you said, comes down to the coaching. They need accountability, and nothing's going to change until that happens.
I do want to, end things here by saying we aren't actually Dallas Cowboys haters. We're strictly unbiased here. We're just talking about what we saw in this game, and as unbiased fans of the sport, like, you can't really say that this was the referee's fault. You kind of have to put this all on Dallas because, I mean, San Francisco was playing to lose that game also. Like, Dallas shouldn't even have been in that game to start with. But, like, Jimmy G threw a bad pass that gave them a chance, and, like, they started playing bad. The injuries to San Francisco also on the defensive end hurt them, but you can't put this on the refs. Like, it was just a lot of undisciplined penalties. Every single penalty I pretty much saw, I was like, I mean, that's clear as day. Like, the defensive holdings, the encroachments, the offside, just everything like that. Like, I was like, you can't really go against these penalties because they are penalties. So we're not haters.
Gregory's a joke and shouldn't be there on that defense.
He's pretty much who lost them that game. I will say that. He screwed them so many times in that game. It was ridiculous. But that's all we got to say today. If you guys enjoyed the video, like it, comment down below. If you think the referees were the reason that Dallas won, if you're a Cowboys fan, try to prove us wrong here. I would like to hear what your guys' input is. Paul, I'm doing my outro, man. You can't keep doing this to me every single video.
Yes, I can. I want to say, speak for yourself. I'm a very biased football fan. If you're not the Chicago Bears, then I don't care. I'm a hater of everybody.
We all know you're a bias towards the Bears. Like, we're completely unbiased here, except Paul for the Bears. But I think everyone that's a fan of this channel that's been subbed to us for a while is clearly aware of that. So we didn't really think that had to be spoken. But also subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed today's video. Hit that button down below to keep getting videos, keep getting alerts of what we're doing here. We're posting each and every single day. And this week, we are not 100% sure, but we are considering doing a live stream of one of the football games. So if you guys are interested in that, subscribe to the channel and then check us out on Saturday or Sunday. So that's all I got today. I'm going to give things over to Mason, and he is going to break us out of here as he usually does.
Fantasy Few out, baby. Let's go.